Why family? My first question that I had in mind is how many people of you are right there sitting in their jogging pants? I mean, I'm doing that. It's crazy times, right? But let's skip to the topic. So, what I'm going to introduce you today. Imagine you can go shopping, and with every step you make, with every purchase you make, you can make passive good stuff. Like by doing nothing else than normal, just shopping, and you can still do passive good. What are you doing with your purchase? Wow, you can plant trees. You can start to collect plastic from the landfills, from the oceans. Again, still by being as you always have been, more lazy and more convenient. Today, I'm going to introduce you a company that is making these passive impact possible. And in this session, you will learn how large retailers were actually able to be 40% more sustainable, to get a 30% more sustainable rate than before by using specific products. And one of the product is today the company Be Good. My name is Victoria Neuhofer, and you know me probably as the 11th generation, our family business that is producing flooring accessories, but I'm also the founder of Damn Plastic. And Damn Plastic is not only a franchise system or an event consulting company or general packaging consulting company. What we do is to have a huge pool of game changers, and the game changers are helping us retailers, or you retailers, or all the others, to actually make a small impact, and a lot of small impact will be a huge impact. So let me introduce you Christoph from Be Good. Before I'm going to talk what he's doing, I think we will let him do the job and introduce himself. Hello, Christoph.
Hello from my side. Thank you very much for the invitation here. I'm super excited to share a bit of our story and how we basically enable companies to protect the environment together with their customers. So I will just quickly share my presentation. Can you please allow me to share it? That would be great. And then we can jump straight into the presentation. Perfect. So you see my screen, right?
Yes, we see your screen.
Perfect. So thank you. So my name is Christoph. I have a background in economics, which I studied in University of Economics in Sydney and in University of Economics in Vienna. And even though with that background, I was basically born to work in a financial institution or the governmental organization. But for me, it was always clear that I want to use my skills and my time to create products that help others have a positive impact on the environment. Before founding my own company, I worked for Red Bull and I worked in an e-commerce startup. But after learning a lot there, it was very clear for me that I want to start my own company and try to improve human behavior and showing people that every tiny action counts, because this is what we believe is super important. Showing everyone out there that they can actually do something to become part of the solution to problems such as climate change and plastic pollution. And since then, of the foundation of the company, it's always been a roller coaster ride, always up and down, but always forward. The two problems that I'm quite passionate about and that lead to the funding of this company are climate change and plastic pollution. We all know that aside from COVID, of course, these days, global warming and plastic pollution are one of the biggest challenges of our time that we as humanity are currently facing. Every year, our planet is getting warmer and over 10 million tons of plastic end up in our oceans. Consumers, more consumers now want to become part of the solutions, but they cannot solve these problems alone. So they are now increasingly turning to companies that actually help them make a difference. This is a huge opportunity for any company, as sustainability is now not only becoming a mega trend, but if it's done right, it is also an opportunity to gain competitive advantage to other companies. For brand, sustainability is now becoming more important than ever. And even though sustainability is a huge topic among all age groups, one thing also stands out. The younger the consumers are, the more they value sustainability. So it's almost certain that the brands that lead in sustainability today will be the market leaders of tomorrow. So how can brands lead in sustainability? There is lots of opportunities, right? And the answer seems quite simple: by reducing their own carbon footprint. But with sustainability being a mega trend, almost any company is now doing something to reduce their carbon footprint. I'm pretty sure out there are many companies listening and watching who actually have these challenges. You're trying probably to improve your supply chains. You already announced your goals about becoming carbon neutral by 2030 or 2050. This is really fantastic. But what we also see is that becoming more sustainable and communicated to the customer in a transparent way are two different things. We see that many brands are actually failing when it comes to the communication part. And like with any product, what good is it if you have the best solution out there, but you're not communicating it well and believable? Our ambition as a company is to fill that gap and offer solutions that make it easy for the consumers to access and process the information so they can build trust towards the brands, instead of suspecting brands from greenwashing, which happens still a lot, especially with large brands. We offer companies a simple solution that enables them to create transparency through a great customer experience that educates the customers in a simple way and builds what matters most: trust. On one side, we have the customers that are worried about climate change and plastic pollution. We also see that for them, these problems often seem complex. And even though they want to be part of the solution, it seems that their actions are just a tiny drop in the ocean. And we change that by making it easier for them to make better choices and showing them that every tiny action counts towards a better future. On the other side, we see that many companies now are trying to become more sustainable, but as it is with new fields, they often struggle to find the right solutions that not only decrease the company's footprint, but also speaks to the customers. And this is where we come in. We support people to live more sustainable by making it easy, fun, and rewarding to protect the environment and show people that every action counts. With our solutions, we enable any company to protect the environment actively together with their customers. So what are we doing actually? With one of our first products, GOODBAG, we have developed the world's first smart reusable shopping bag, you'll see it behind of me, that connects with our app and rewards users for using their bag in over 10 million shops. Every time customers go shopping with a GOODBAG and reuse it in one of these shops, they can collect plastic waste out of the ocean, they can plant a tree, and they can collect points, we call them seeds. So by reusing your GOODBAG, you not only avoid buying a new single-use bag, you actually also collecting plastic waste out of the ocean or planting new trees against climate change. All of this is possible through a small NFC chip that we integrated in the GOODBAG logo. And with this, we transform the regular shopping bag into a tool to save the world in the everyday life of consumers. How does it work practically? As I said, every GOODBAG has a small NFC chip in the GOODBAG logo. So the customers just buy the bag in the shop, bring it with them every time they go shopping. In the shop, they open up the GOODBAG app where they select their reward. For example, planting a tree, collecting a plastic waste, and activate the reward by simply holding their phone close to the GOODBAG logo. Immediately, they see the confirmation that they now, for example, planted a tree or collected plastic waste out of the ocean. It's as simple as that. In the app, they also see in real time how often they reuse the bag, how much plastic they collected, how many trees they planted, and of course, they can also fulfill cool achievements, earn badges, and compete with others in the rankings. The GOODBAG works everywhere, no matter if it's a store that partners with us, or it's just a regular store where we fetch the data from Google Maps or Apple Maps. But by becoming a partner, companies are more exposed to their customers. Customers can earn more points and do more good with the points. And of course, you can also retarget customers of yours and you're doing something for the environment. All our bags fulfill the highest social and environmental standards. We only use exclusively organic cotton, and all our suppliers have the highest BSCI and SMETA certification scores. For consumers, GOODBAG creates a gamified experience that makes it fun and rewarding to reuse your bag. With the GOODBAG app, they can claim rewards, support projects, and track in real time how often they reuse their bag. So it's really a fun and engaging experience that takes the customer to the next level of acting sustainable and actually show them that their actions are not just a tiny drop in the ocean, but together we all can achieve something that makes our world better. What's in it for the brands? For any brand, GOODBAG is a brand new channel to interact with the customers. It's interactive. We offer a customer experience as a service that enables retailers and any brands to protect the environment interactively together with their customers to reduce plastic, increase their sustainability ratings, which is very important these days, and of course, win new customer and increase customer loyalty, which I'm pretty sure any brand is interested in. We are all about making the world better, but we can't do it alone. This is why we need large companies with whom we can create an impact and which we can support on their mission to become more sustainable. And we're super grateful to already work with leading companies such as Swiss retailer Denner, Portugal's leading retailer Continent, with whom we will launch on the 5th of June, working together with Nestle, Deutsche Telekom, and Europe's biggest airport, London Heathrow. The GOODBAG system, as I said, already works in over 10 million shops worldwide. And to date, we have over 1,400 partner shops in 9 countries. And every week it's becoming more. I would like the opportunity to quickly share one of our success stories in the past. So together with the Swiss retailer Danner, which was the best possible first large retail company to work with we can imagine. So we were super glad that we actually started working with them because it was a big journey towards bringing this product to the market together with them. So we launched with them in March 2020. The first 50,000 bags that we sold were sold out in less than 2 months. Since then, we had already 3 campaigns in the last 12 months with 10 different limited editions of GOODBAGs. And believe it or not, people were calling Danner or writing emails to them how they could actually get their hands on some of the designs that were sold out early on. So with our first social media campaign, we reached over 500,000 of people just organically, and the feedback was 100% positive. Of all of our users, we have now also 12% power users, which means they go shopping with the GOODBAG at least twice a week, which means like shopping with the GOODBAG and the GOODBAG app. Of course, some of them probably will use it without the app even more. With the launch in Switzerland, we were also able to get a lot of media attention because it's a very interesting topic for the media. It's smart, it's interactive, it's sustainable. So there's a lot of factors that makes this unique and also allows any brand that works together with us to really use this as a good story to get actually free media coverage. So now the GOODBAG is also an essential part of Danner's sustainability campaign and communication. Let's look a bit at the facts that we have done with the case study. And this is something that excites me really, because it showed that GOODBAG users and people who have never heard about the GOODBAG actually learned more about sustainability by using the GOODBAG. So what we did is we took 2 groups, like people who have never heard about the GOODBAG and GOODBAG users, and we gave them different statements and asked them for their approval. Statements were such as, Danner cares about sustainability, Danner actually is contributing to reduce emissions, or Danner cares about reducing plastic waste. So what we then did is basically compared the approval to these statements from the GOODBAG users and the control group who has never heard about GOODBAG. And what really impressed us were the results on how much the approval ratings of these statements actually improved throughout the GOODBAG users. So when it comes to reducing plastic, over 40% higher approval rates were actually achieved among the GOODBAG users, which shows really how this has an effect on the brands. When it comes to sustainability, we still achieved a 70% higher approval rate. And when it comes to reducing emissions, it was 30% plus. So this was really very exciting for us. And of course, this is also very exciting for any brand who wants to change the way how it is seen by their customers. All other feedback, of course, that we asked during this case study was extremely positive. Over 80% liked getting a reward for using their bags. 70% plus of them said that thanks to GOODBAG, they don't forget their bag at home anymore, which is really a big problem. So we're really using the reminders in the app to actually remind people to actually bring their bag with them so you don't forget your bag at home. So what stood out for us and also was very interesting for us was that we actually found out that most of the people preferred to plant trees as a reward or collect plastic as a reward instead of getting discounts that save them money. So we had 86% of the people actually preferred collecting plastic. With trees, it was 84% who said that this is the best incentive for them. And with the coupons, it was only 78%. And the highest approval rate we got from the statement overall was that people actually want to use the GOODBAG in more stores to collect more plastic and plant more trees. So which are the organizations that we're actually planting these trees with to collect the plastic? Especially because we're working together with large companies, it is very important to not only work with the organizations that we only work with organizations that are bulletproof. Therefore, we're super happy that we've created partnership with the organization We Forest, which is from Belgium, and One Earth, One Ocean, which is from Germany, to ensure that every time a GOODBAG is reused, more trees are planted and more plastic is fished out of the ocean. We have super high standards for the organizations we're working with and the impact that they create. But if there is any company that wants to work together with another organization, as long as this organization fits the standards, of course, it can be also integrated in our solutions. So how does it work to become a GOODBAG partner and start reduce single-use plastic, planting trees against climate change, and cleaning out oceans together with customers? The only thing you need to do is basically you go to our website, you can sign up directly and actually be in the app within a few days, or you can contact us, which most of the larger retailers do, through our contact form or reach directly out to me. It's a very simple process. All we need to do is add all your stores to our network, design a one-of-a-kind GOODBAG that your customers will love, and deliver them to you so you can start selling them. As you can see, it is pretty simple to make the world better with small actions and benefit as a company at the same time. So given our expertise with GOODBAG, we have learned that demand from companies for our solution is also huge in other areas. After we now reach product market fit with GOODBAG, we now started to expand our app to a platform that rewards customers whenever they buy, act, or consume sustainable. So we're now working on a solution that actually adds new use cases to actually also take into account what goes into the GOODBAG and basically how we consume products, for example, in a reusable coffee mug when we get our takeaway coffee. Therefore, at the end of this presentation, I wanted to give you a peek on some other use cases we're currently working on with a leading FMCG brand. And I wanted to also highlight this to you. So maybe if you're in some areas pain points, or we see like you actually want to communicate that you are very sustainable and you're doing a lot to your customers, we can potentially help you with that. The concept behind our solution is simple and easy to understand for the customer. Whenever customers act, buy, or consume sustainable, they collect seeds. You can think about it like a Miles and More program just for sustainability. Let me show you some solutions that we're currently working on in our app. GOODBAG is a system that basically allows consumers to earn seeds when they buy sustainable products, such, for example, vegetarian burgers, which replace meat, which has a high CO2 impact, which is better for the environment. Immediately after you bought the product as a customer, you can unwrap it. On the inside, you find a unique QR code, you scan it, you now see the information why this product is sustainable, because there's a less footprint. The packaging is reusable, or the packaging is made out of recycled materials. So as a brand, you are able now to tell your customer in an interactive way that this product has certain benefits for the environment, and they perceive it and become more loyal to your product. And of course, you also can reward them with the seeds, which also makes the customer loyal to the product and actually incentivize customers to purchase exactly this product the next time they're going out for shopping. A second use case, which is also super exciting for us, is the reusable smart and circular coffee cup. We call it GOODCUP. It is made out of recycled ocean plastic. It also contains an NFC chip, and it lets you collect seeds every time you reuse it in a coffee shop. If you're tired of carrying it around, you will always be able to drop it off in a partner cafe and pick up a new cup the next time you get your coffee. So it's also more convenient. All of these solutions will be accessed by the user through one single login. Think of it like this Facebook login. So whenever the user identifies with their unique ID, they can collect seeds. This might look a bit complex, but in the end, it's very, very simple. if you want to start using rewarding customers with seats, basically we can integrate our API into your solutions and let customers earn seats whenever they purchase sustainable products. If you're more like on the one-fits-all solution, we actually have our own solutions, but we also have a lot of network of other solutions that actually started to use the seats system to reward customers for using their solutions. So for brands and other sustainable solutions, what we do is we provide a customer experience as a service that lets them reward clients for using their products, that not only works for their products and solutions, but also for other solutions. And of course, for these solutions, this is a great way to win new users. So with all that said, thanks for the attention. I think I showed you also that there is a bit more than just the bag. So I would like to invite you to start thinking outside the bag together with us and join us on our mission to make the world better together. Thank you very much. And I'm very much looking forward now to talk with you, Victoria, about GOODBAG and our journey and the questions.
Christoph, you're social entrepreneur, you. I really enjoyed your presentation and I love the seeds. It could be that the seeds will be the new Bitcoin.
Actually, we were thinking about putting the whole thing on the blockchain. I mean, you could raise so much money with that, but we're not only here for the money. So it's more about the benefit of the solution, right? And in the end, we don't have a huge benefit to put it on the blockchain. But actually, behind every seed, there is a monetary value, like with any loyalty system, right? So the only difference is that actually the seeds are redeemed for something that makes more sense than a regular reward in our opinion. So yes, maybe, but we're going tiny steps forward.
Well, I will do that with damn plastic. I want to have damn coins, but skip that. About you. So just to summarize everything, I think what the most important part is that everyone understand that it's easy. Sustainability can be easy, can be sexy, and can make fun. And this is the reason why first I invited you today, and second, why I am working with you, because we just want to work with companies that actually show the retailers and all the other parts in the industry how easy we could actually implement specific stuff. And we got some questions, and to all that are listening right now, I'm happy to get your questions. I will read them and I will ask Christoph in your name to answer them. Let me check here. So the first one is that, yeah, we know single-use plastic is of course a problem and everybody's talking about that and about the entire plastic pollution. But would you really say that it's like the first problem that we need to tackle as it comes to climate change? Or would you say from your social entrepreneur vision that it's actually like the second step that we should take?
Well, actually, I mean, single-use plastic bags are a big problem. It's over 2 trillion plastic bags that are used every year for an average of only 15 minutes. So even though we might not realize it when we are living in Austria, Germany, where actually people are already very aware of that, like when it comes to other markets like the US, or even if you go to the United Kingdom, I mean, there is still a lot of single-use plastic. Now they're catching up, but it's a huge, huge topic. But of course, you're right. When it comes to climate change and plastic pollution in general, there's a lot of other areas where we can even have more impact. Our approach was to actually start with a simple product that's also simple for any retail chain to implement, and then step by step add value to our solution. And this is why we choose to start with GOODBAG, basically giving our users and any company a tool at hand that they can easy to implement, and then step by step add new use cases, basically taking the customers at the hand and basically showing them how in their everyday life with other things, like for example, switching to more sustainable brands, using reusable packaging. We're now also working together with a huge package, like a industrial company in the packaging sector, which also sees there is actually room for a change towards more reusable packaging, away from single-use packaging in some areas, to actually incentivize people to purchase products that are in reusable packaging. So absolutely right. There's a lot of room for having more impact. We just choose to start with the bags because it was the first use case where we actually had the opportunity to bring this out at a larger scale.
But I'm still curious about the packaging. Would you say that the future is to go away from single use and to reuse everything that we use every day? Like every step that we are doing Like, for example, I don't know, just like brushing your teeth, that you have a reusable, refillable toothpaste, or you go out and everything what you do every day, you need to reuse it? Or would you say there is a chance that we will have a material that is really more sustainable and a really alternative to plastic that is disappearing in the world or in the water? Would you say, would that be better, or do we really need to change to just like reuse everything? Because it's still a change in our mindset. And I believe, I mean, you know what I think about people. I think that they are too lazy and too convenient to actually change themselves in a really quick manner that is actually already needed. So what would you do, like in your case, to actually, I don't know, convince people to reuse more? Or would you rather go for the solution that you say, hey, let's find out a material that is really like do not suck at the end and is still like good enough?
So it's about, not about them plastic, right? It's about them people, right? So absolutely agree with you basically on those statements, that there can be two solutions, right? I mean, there is not one right or wrong. Like there might be in the future packaging materials that completely dissolve themselves after they're being used. They currently already exist, but the one thing is that the costs are very high, right? So you have probably like 200, 300% of the cost of the regular packaging material. This is something where actually reusable packaging, if it's used by the customer several times, can be more efficient. But what's most important here is, of course, when we're talking towards the mass market and we're talking to FMCG brands who have hundreds of millions of customers, right? It's about convenience, right? There will be like a niche of reusable packaging, but if you want to go to a mass market, you have to have the right incentives, right? And this is about educating the customers to actually go that extra mile, making it almost as easy to pick out the product in a single-use packaging. So basically rewarding the customers, actually showing them in real time, this is the impact that they're actually having by returning it, making the return really, really easy and rewarding, right? Like we know that with the whole deposit
Like
system.
kids, like, be good,
Well,
you get a candy.
well, I think it's about information. I think like, yeah, it's about learning. And like I think when it comes to sustainability, we're all at different learning stage, right? I mean, this is like I consider myself like very well aware of many issues, but I'm still like learning every day. And there is like, when it comes to life cycle analysis, of course, like we have to ourselves, we outsource that to companies to actually do exactly that very, very well. So in the end, it's about making it convenient, make it fun and educational also, and in the end, also rewarding, right? And this is what we do. We want to make it fun and rewarding to improve the world in your everyday life, and don't try to make it like somehow it shouldn't be like a chore. It should be like something exciting. It should be something that really like makes it fun. And this is what we're doing with GOODBAG, and we're now bringing to other areas.
Love it. Love your spirit as well. I have another question from Ken. He asked, have there been any significant cultural differences, I'm sorry, noticed in the use and take up of the GOODBAG across countries or the retail type? So did you see some kind of difference in different kind of countries where you have been? Are there cultural differences that actually make it more easy or harder to use the GOODBAG?
So currently, we're only active in Europe. Among these countries in Europe, I would not say that we have actually seen significant differences here. I mean, we launched in Switzerland, which is still our biggest market besides of Austria. We're now going to Portugal. We're actually very curious to see here the differences of the usage. But in Italy, Germany, like actually we see a lot of people actually from our users, they're asking us when is there a large retailer implementing this system in my country? And I would not say that we receive more like requests from areas, for example, from Scandinavian countries than in the south or vice versa. So far, we have not really witnessed that. We have seen also like 12 months ago, we were in Korea. Actually, there is a lot of like the plastic usage there of bags, it's way more there, but the awareness is there, and also the technological awareness in these countries, for example, is higher. So overall, we haven't really seen a big difference there. And the interest from all basically countries is more or less the same within our solution, but some of them might be on the forefront of sustainability, so to speak.
I'm just like thinking about my vacation on Thailand, etc., where the people there, I'm sorry that I'm gonna be direct here, but I just have the feeling that they are using plastic like whatever, it's everywhere, it's already here, I cannot change anything, or packaging everything like 4 times in a bag, and just like, you know, bags are everywhere, as you said. And we know that the government restrictions finally are going into the direction to totally ban it, or already have banned it. So of course people need to change there now, because we tell them to do so, because it's like we cannot tackle the entire plastic trash anymore. Would you say it's like a super chance for you to use it, or are there other companies that would say just like, you know, reuse my bag in those countries where let's say the most of the trash are coming from?
So, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Thailand, because just one side note, basically when we started with GOODBAG, you could only plant trees, and I was on a vacation there, and I was in a nice hotel on the beach, and like there was so much plastic swimming that every time I went for a swim, I actually started like collecting plastic. And then I said, well, actually, we're incentivizing people to reuse their bag. It would be so awesome if basically by reusing the bag, they not only save single-use bags, they could also collect plastic. And with the legislation, we also see, like, for example, I think the first country in the world that banned plastic bags completely was an African country, because the problem there is even bigger. So actually there needs to be something to create the awareness, and some of that needs to be done by legislation. So overall, like from the opportunities, I mean, we are a global company. We are talking to companies worldwide. I mean, we focus, of course, on Europe because we are not a huge company. We're a small startup. So we have big ambitions, but of course, we're taking tiny steps towards that. So when it comes to other markets, we're now working with distribution agreements. We are receiving like basically weekly requests from the Middle East, from India, to actually bring this solution to also these parts of the world, which we currently cannot do ourselves, like, let's be honest. So this is why we're also working here with partners, so that actually can represent GOODBAG in these markets where the solution is needed worldwide, right? And I think actually South America.
DIY stores. That's why I invited you. I want to show them that it's so easy, that they can definitely implement your product as well in a really easy step. And sorry for interrupting you, but I just skip back to the GOODBAG part. Now, when you say it's easy, if I'm a retailer now and I want to implement the bag, would you say like how many weeks do I need? How much money do I need? Like how easy it is really to do that step? If I'm gonna call you today and say, hey, Christoph, I want a GOODBAG, let's do it.
So from a technological aspect, it's very, very simple. We're very scalable with our solution. So basically, if you're a retailer and you have like 200-300 stores and you provide us with a database, which every retailer has with all the locations of the stores, we'll integrate that in our system, and you're basically good to go in a few days. The part that actually takes a bit longer is the part of producing the bags, because like usually you want to have your own branding on the bag. You want to have some catchy, cool slogan that actually speaks towards your customers. So basically we create that together with you, or you have your own internal communication team, puts the design on the bag, and then the production starts. And usually, depending on how many bags you want, like a few thousand, we can immediately deliver to you. But when it comes to like large retailers, usually it takes about 3 to 6 months of the production. And in the meanwhile, we go into and we plan the communication part, right? Because it's also very important that you take the most out of the solution. Use it, work together with influencers. Influencers love our product, and they will love to basically communicate that together with the brand, so you can reach a lot of people on social media. You can use it within the sustainability strategy, right? You can build integrations. Some of our clients, for example, Danner, build a whole sub-site here for the where they explain it. You can create some videos. But overall, like, it's really, really simple. If you want to basically start tomorrow, you can. But if you want to have a bit more like elaborate start, which is most of the time the case for large companies, it takes a bit more time. But any company usually is surprised how quickly we can integrate and start.
And the part that you skipped is actually the cost part. Can we hear?
Yeah, of course, the cost. Yeah, this is always an issue. I'm not as comfortable talking about, but of course it's very efficient, because in the end, like, there is some cost involved. Of course, we charge a setup fee, and there's a yearly fee, but it's not really a high fee. It's a few thousand euros, and then for every interaction, like, a donation is triggered, basically, that goes towards the cause that you want to support. So, for example, collecting plastic or planting trees, which is between 5 to 10 cents, but this can be actually decided. So especially with the seed point system now that we're developing in the back, where people actually redeem the points for the causes, you can decide how many seeds you would allocate to the customers. And on top of that, of course, you have to buy the bags from us, right? But you resell them actually with a profit. So this is actually why the bag profit compensates for most of the campaign, so to speak. So in the end, you get a free interactive campaign that your customers love for zero, or you make a profit. This depends on how highly you price the bag. Our ambition is always that the bag is as cheap as possible, but of course it's a high quality tote bag. It's made of 10 ounces of organic cotton, and has an inside pocket, it's double handles, it's very large in the volume.
I love it.
Yes. So from the cost, this is how usually the cost structure is set together.
I think it was just like important to let those audience that is listening now to know that you can actually make a profit as well. It's not. I think it's also important that we're gonna tell that loud, that even if you have a sustainable company, even if you are a social entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur and you want to earn money as well. And it's not to make like everything for free, or to that the other has to do something. So what the customers do get is perhaps a profit if they want to sell it for a profit, correct? I mean, I can have I can decide to give them for free in my store, correct? But I do not have to. I can sell them. And on the other side, I could also say, I'm going to sell it for like break even, or as we said before, to make a profit, I'm going to make them more expensive. But at the end, it is possible to actually cover all the costs, also the yearly costs, with the selling of the bag. And not to forget the wow effect and the cool effect that the customer have. And like, as you said before in your presentation, that you can enhance your brand loyalty. And not to forget, over 80% of our generation wants to buy from sustainable companies and are already willing to pay a bit more. Even if we say everything needs to be cheap, we are definitely like, in the retail shelf, we are going for the better product right now. And I think we cannot change that anymore. And every day in the news and every advertisement, everything is about like plastic is bad, plastic is everywhere. So I think the awareness is here, and it's like good for your brand as well. Christoph, I have another question from Oliver. He's asking you if you have like further product types, for example, which is pretty cool, rucksacks or school bags that you can attract the younger generation, younger audience as well. What do you say about that?
Yes. So basically, our technology is integratable in any kind of reusable bag and any kind of reusable item in general. I think I mentioned the reusable coffee cups that we're currently working on, and like there's a lot of other packaging, and we actually have also different bag designs. So for example, I'm super excited about a very limited edition that we brought towards the market before Christmas, which was made out of upcycled materials, and 100% of the revenues actually were given to charity, not only the profit. So the technology itself could be integrated in a backpack. It could be integrated in any kind of bag, right? So in the end, if as a retailer you want to sell a different product but still have the benefit of our solution, we can just provide you with the NFC chips, and we can just provide you with the GOODBAG label, so to speak, towards that, or we create a rucksack together. So out of organic cotton, we can also create a hybrid. Like we are also having some patterns where actually you can carry it over your shoulder, but then if you want to carry it on your back, it's also possible. So in the end, like any bag that is out there can be made a good bag with our solution.
That's cool. So you could change every product to be a good product. So to sum it up, you have like a system and you can just like implement it in every product, but you could also do it in a t-shirt, correct? We could also make a good t-shirt, just like to wear it and to show that with every washing time we are not pumping microplastic within the washing machine. That's a funny side fact for all those that are listening right now. If you're washing every day your stuff, like for example sport clothing or something that is from polyester, you're putting every time microplastic directly in the environment that is landing especially in the earth where our food is growing. Just to let you know, so the next time perhaps you use a filter or use organic cotton. Okay. Christoph, is there anything else that you want to share with us, like perhaps your general vision, because we want to ban single-use plastic within one generation together and all the partners that work with them plastic, but what is like your really main goal, what you want to achieve in your, let's say, life to your dad?
Oh, wow, I don't think we have enough time for that one. But I think for the company itself, our vision and mission for the company is basically to enable everyone to protect the environment in their everyday life and see the change that they create. And this is not only, as I said, counts towards the bag. So there is a lot of other use cases. So our vision is really to become the leading go-to platform for consumers, where they can actually protect the environment and see the information on their impact that they are creating, and enabling consumers to protect the environment together with companies. Because in the end, and I think this is also relating to a statement from you before, it's about scaling impact and profit at the same time, right? And if you're able to do that, this is really when the magic happens, right? Because if you're an NGO, you're always like depending on donations. But if as a company like we provide value towards our clients, basically on bringing new users, increasing loyalty, really access of data, basically also selling more sustainable products, which also like is something that is very, very important, right? This is increasing the revenues. So here is really our vision to enable companies and their customers to protect the environment together and provide the information there. And we're now with several use cases in the playing field, and these increase with every new company that comes to us that has a new use case that we are developing together with them.
Cool. I have two questions as regards the topic you said right now. You said you're working with NGOs. You mentioned WeForest. I can remember WeForest.
Yeah.
Why you choose those NGOs? Because you said they are depending on donations, correct? So they are not making really money. They're just like making money to cover. Actually, you're using them, correct, to make report. No, I'm just kidding. So how you choose them? Why you used WeForest? Because I know that there are 1,000 companies out there that are planting trees, that are like collecting trash from the ground, cleanups. Why you choose like those partners that you have right now?
So it would be a dream of us to also have our own project. Basically, we were actually parts of the team. We could go on a team vacation and we could collect plastic and plant the trees. In my youth, I worked in conservation volunteering in Australia, and I actually planted a lot of trees myself. But of course, we are depending on these organizations because as a small startup, we cannot do everything by ourselves. So we're super grateful to have reliable and great partners such as WeForest, who create the impact on the ground with us, and of course with the funds that are provided by the partners. And they are already working together with large brands besides us. So basically, like I think they're doing a campaign with Nike where on the packaging they are planting trees. But for them, we're basically some added value that they can also provide to the customer, right? So as I said, like it's not like you're handing over a check to an organization. You're taking the customer with you, and this is really reflecting on the perception of the customer. And you're not just donating money; you are actually giving this money because the customers act sustainable, right? So how we select them? I mean, we are checking them on several factors. As you said, there's many organizations that plant trees, and regarding the cost, like we could actually plant trees with some organizations for 25% of the cost we're actually planting right now. But for us, it's important that for every tree that's planted in our ad, a real tree actually is planted in South Africa, in Tanzania, in Zambia, where these are the projects where we support. WeForest has many more projects, and in the future we also plan to also add other projects. We also want to actually add gold standard trees, which are more expensive, basically giving the users also the opportunity to choose which projects they want support of course, if they have a certain standards. Unfortunately, there is some organizations where the impact is not very traceable, where there's not reporting there. So, but this is, I mean, as I said, like when you start working with large companies, this is super important. And if you're doing it from an ideology out, like we are doing it, you're really concerned about this impact actually going somewhere, right? And it's not some nice website or something.
And yeah, I mean, greenwashing is a point that a lot of companies are doing out there. And I believe that some of your customers are using the GOODBAG to actually show off that they are cool, and behind they're perhaps doing other things, but at least they are doing some steps. I mean, I think it's more positive than negative, at least a bit. But the most important part is it is traceable. So I know as a customer that I really did plant a tree, that I really collect the plastic, which I think is very important, because as you said, a lot of companies are just saying it is as it is, or when you just volunteer and you give 50 euros and you think it's gonna be there in Africa, but in the real time, there's perhaps like 10 euros going there and 40 euros are just like lost in between, which is sad. So Christoph, we are talking almost 1 hour. I think we could talk another 2-3 days, but I think it was very good for the audience to see how easy we can make a change with a bag, and that there are a lot of other products are coming. For all those that are listening, there is a video from Christoph how to use the bag. So there is an explanation video how it works that you can see at the DIY Summit profile. And Christoph, your last words.
Well, my last words would be like, try to improve the world every day a little bit. And I think what we need is a small change from 100% of the people, and not a big change from 1% of the people.
Well, and I want to add to that, it's super cool that you can, without changing yourself, actually make a change. That's cool. Thank you, Christoph, for being here and for giving us your time and your voice.
Thank you for the opportunity. Bye.
Bye, you're welcome.